aggro. Number 2, who gets out of gold lane first?
Cool. Good questions here as we load up for the matchup. First one of the day to end the midpoint of our regular season. Once again, we'll Twisted Minds be able to get the first blood in this best of 3 against ONIC Philippines, a team that has found momentum in the last couple matches. We'll find out here once again, and not too much changing. You know, we built up the patch coming through. We have seen some debut picks just the past couple of days. There's an arrow.
Hajizi barely getting away with 1 HP. I told y'all Fritz was gonna throw them bombs.
It seems like since last week, again, the Monster Mage still super on point with his Selena. Really want to be aggressive early on. A good thing that Hajizi didn't give the kill there, or that would have been the bad start for Twisted Minds.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, okay, purple buff start there for Twisted Minds, so they actually block an invade from King Kong in terms of trying to steal or mess up with the purple. He will go for the lizard there. While in the bottom of the map, we're not going to see the jungle, but ONIC are actually quite contesting the first
bottom lane.
XP Crab.
Bottom.
Whoa. Huge fight down bottom. Revitalize already spent by Escalera. The Magician keeping him alive, but MP falls. Fritz finds one. Brusco trying to keep Escalera at bay. Hajizi throwing out the Sanguine Claws as Escalera finds retribution. 1 for 1. They're not done. Fritz dashing through. Escalera holding their ground. Kirk gets away. Hold up. Oh, the electrifying beast finds one more.
Very extended team fight, even utilizing both of the revitalizers for both teams, but it's ONIC Philippines that kind of picks that fight apart and then gets the advantage with the usage of the ultimates.
Yeah, slight miscount there for Twisted Minds. They were playing around the idea of, don't worry, MP the King, we have a Revitalize, but Brusco has his Revitalize too, and that's how ONIC was able to stretch things out eventually.
Oh no, Brusco gets sandwiched here by MP and James knocking him up. Infernal Pursuit. Brusco barely alive, gets taken down by the Ultimate Fighter. That's a knockout. Now James might find one coming his way. The flicker through that wall. In comes James one more time. The fade King Kong dashing through. Once more, James just keeping them at bay. Kirk falls. So does Eternal. Big win for Twisted.
James, again, this is why I wanted to see Twisted Minds pick up the Phoveus. He was impressive with it last week, and he continues this week.
Yeah, that Phoveus is always a problem in the early game. You know, whether he has a Vengeance, whether he has a Flicker, it just seems impossible to kill him half the time. And then you throw in that team or Revitalize if it's there.
Oh no. Escalera trying to get away with this. Glorious Pathway set in. 3 members of ONIC he walks away from.
Yeah, he galloped his way on that Glorious Pathway just fine. He did have to burn the Revitalize, but again, doesn't go down. We take a look here, the gold difference is building, especially in the XP lane, starting to get that lead again. When we saw this earlier, Kirk was actually bullied out of lane at the beginning of the game. So now he's kind of catching up, you know, and it's really showcasing in those early skirmishes.
Yeah, we talk about bullying the bully if you're Twisted Minds. Well, there's another bully on the side of ONIC Philippines, it's Kirk. And if you can do what a lot of players actually have a struggle doing against Kirk, which is dominating him in lane to minimize what he can do in team fights close to him, then that's one step to whittling down ONIC Philippines. I like that Twisted Minds are willing to play into the aggression that ONIC PH is known for. They're not just passively rotating so that they can open up for MP the King. They're opening up aggressive options for the other members of Twisted as well.
Oh, in comes Kirk and King Kong. MP finds Kirk. Down goes the Lucas. Didn't even get to make use of his transformation all this while.
Yeah, it didn't even burn the flicker. I don't know if that was just a, yeah, I'm dead, or not enough reaction through that. Yeah, because... And that's the thing, Kirk is just going to fall further behind at this point. James already rotating up. This should just be an easy turtle now for Twisted Minds, unless ONIC Philippines actually wants to try to contest it. But they've got to revitalize a beefy Escalera on this Hylos to deal with, and they're just going to be zoned out right now.
Turtle number 2 getting blitzed here by Twisted Minds. MP secures despite Brusco jumping. First Pathway set in as well as they're revitalized. Oh, look at that, they're all clumped up. Oh, play gets thrown by King Kong. Double for the beast. Down goes MP, triple for Cyric, and they're not done. Kirk gets stopped once more by the Ultimate Fighter. Now Escalera almost goes down. Kelra gets another. 4 for 2 plus the turtle. And now it's James versus 2. Can Kelra and Prince do this? Oh, the Ultimate Fighter, not gonna let him get him away!
Big
And
James!
James looking for one more. Can he get it? Jump on him! James with another! This man is unstoppable!
I doubted the Ultimate Fighter name, but he showed why he got that. Twisted Minds, toe-to-toe with ONIC Philippines, but we cannot deny the fact that ONIC Philippines look like they got out of that with a bigger win. They got more kills. They opened up the map just a little bit more. But I think the kill on Killer, actually, I'll have to revert quickly with what I just said. It allowed them to get a little bit more tempo around the gold lane. Were outplayed even though he died there. Keller now has to defend this, and they force out an AOG from Brusco.
There's just no answer for James right now. It was, yes, a team fight, that turtle for ONIC Philippines, although they didn't get the turtle, but you saw the team fighting, and even Kirk, as delayed as he was, he actually provided a ton of value once he jumped into that fight. So that is something that Twisted Minds has to be careful of. The team fighting power of this composition could be something they have to deal with later on.
There is no answer for James right now, and in the near future even, I don't think there's an answer for James. None of them deal that much of a physical damage. James has already built his Radiant armor. He can keep taking fights all day.
And he doesn't need to go back to base much to do it, of course, with the natural HP region that comes with the Radiant armor. And Twisted Minds also need to watch out for when they're finally engaging fights. Super Prince will look to toss an Abyssal Arrow somewhere from where Hajiji and Uplate would want to come from. The reason why Hajiji fell down quickly in that fight is because the arrow landed onto him from the Selena. So let's see if Twisted Minds will read that, but it lands on Escalera, bringing him quite low.
Final turtle coming up, less than half health. Once more, the same position. James jumping on dudes. King Kong secures it. The glorious pathway by Escalera might have been used defensively. Zaman pushed by Kelra. Pushed back by James. Kirk down to a tenth of his health. Backing up. Brusco's in trouble, revitalized, but might be in vain as Outplayed gets a kill. A turtle for your roamer. I don't know if ONIC is happy with that trade.
Okay,
Fritz, MP the King finds him. What is a monster to a king?
And now they're definitely not happy. Kelra's in trouble too.
Simon Force right in the middle, underneath tier 1, pushing back MP, pushing back James. All to save that turret.
The impression of Twisted Minds. I think ONIC Philippines are somewhat surprised with how heavily Twisted Minds are fighting into these sequences. That when ONIC Philippines decide to leave fights a little bit early so that they can get a bit more macro control when they're thinking, okay, we're already happy with this. Wait, 1v1.
King Kong spots MP the King, finishes the job. MP could not answer. There can only be one king in the jungle.
It is a problem here. Yes, Twisted Minds is winning on the majority of the front, but if they don't stop King Kong, he's 5-0 and run right now on this Joy.
No deaths, untouched, bulletproof if he was a gold laner, but I guess that counts too. ONIC Philippines. See where else they can get wins. They're getting lots of wins for King Kong, but Twisted Minds are, it seems like they're winning battles, but little by little they're winning more of the war happening in the entire map. The pushes that they're getting up top, they have a 1-tower lead. ONIC Philippines trying to balance it out at the bottom. It might come out to the next big team fight to see if who will win that, and whoever wins that might take control of this mid to late game.
Yeah, and so we get to this point of the game where the Lord is almost up. And it's nearly even though it feels like economy-wise, you know, it should be Twisted Minds that is further ahead. It's not too much of a difference, but like you mentioned, that tier 2 up top is almost down, so they have been doing work across the map macro-wise. But now are they prepped and ready to go ahead and secure themselves this Lord? King Kong will be zoned out already by James.
That's all just James, man, working King Kong down to a fourth of his health.
Okay, he's gonna go ahead and just
AOG by Brusco, finding one. The jump man secures it onto KDA Machine. Now Escalera revitalize it. Brusco as well goes pathway. Kelra Zaman Force wailing away at Escalera, keeping up that revitalize plus the heals. Now King Kong dancing around. James as well looking for an engagement. Forcing back on it.
I don't think they want to commit to this Lord though. They're very hesitant because of the fact of just how much of a threat James and Escalera are up to the front line.
Yeah, still some big ultimates available for Twisted Minds here. But ONIC!
They collapse onto the Ultimate Fighter. He gets knocked out. Fritz finally finds one. King Kong dancing around Outplayed. The beast is on the run. Can MP the King finish it off? To the rescue. Backing the rest off. Twisted Minds thinking about the engagement.
Sacrifice for the king. That's what Kirk wanted to do.
He showed up with a flicker, not my king! And he was able to save King Kong just in time. Look at the items of the EX Leaders, a Thunder Belt for the Lucas, already up to a Dominance Ice for James. This Phobius will still continue to be a menace with his sustainability and the damage he can dish out. But in terms of damage, the two junglers already sealed in with 2 core items, both.
Okay. Again, a very great team fight we just got to see. And it's up to ONIC Philippines to really play around the arrows of Super Prince. But right now, it's Twisted Minds still playing up front with their 2 tankier heroes they have the options to. So they'll try to get the area around the Lord in their favor. They do pull it out. But now King Kong is going to make his way, and the arrow's going to land.
Thrown out, plus an AOG! And the game does surge through. The big knockup coming from the Lord, revitalized coming from both tanks. And now James
the back
looking to get in, taking down Kirk. King Kong holding this brush. Another arrow thrown out. Lord gonna get secured here. Twisted Minds. Hajizi secures. Another 7-4 in by Kelra. James dancing around, sacrificing himself. Secured a kill for King Kong.
ONIC Philippines were playing for safety, but if they heavily contested that, if they were there closer to it, King Kong actually could have stolen it because a lot of members of Twisted Minds was knocked up. But you can't fault them for not wanting to fight. That moment for ONIC looked too shaky to heavily contest. So now Twisted Minds will march into their side of the river with the Lord, full members for ONIC, but Twisted, they need to make sure that Hajizi and Outplayed are well protected. And they have to be careful for Super Princess and King Kong's entry. They need to protect their backline now.
Let's take a look at this replay. Again, this is probably the longest I've seen the Lord held at this amount of health. There was arrows being thrown out from the side. King Kong was waiting, but just a little bit too late. And so they aren't able to actually go in for that fight. So a turret in the mid lane will go down. It looks like Lord's going to be cleared out here up top by ONIC Philippines. And they'll hold on. It's limited damage from that first Lord take, but still, you know, Twisted Minds gets that minor advantage on across the map.
You know what? I'm wondering, signs of hesitation, or did ONIC agree on King Kong hiding to go for the turn instead of the steal?
Yeah, I think it's that. They knew that they couldn't get wiped out, and purple buff actually stolen away by MP the King, so no purple for this Joy at this moment. And I think King Kong is also looking at one other factor, is James. How low is James's health? When he's below 40%, that's when he decides to go in with the electrifying beats as a way to finish off the Phobius and see if they can take it down fast enough so that they continue more beats into the back line.
Oh, look at the flank. King Kong's holding. Oh, Twisted Minds sniffed him out.
Spotted out. Arrow's going to land, but they won't follow up. This is probably the most difficult thing for ONIC Philippines, is actually trying to play against the range that is provided by Twisted Minds. Not only the range, but just that front line, which is James and Escalera. So that's why we see them taking the off angles in a lot of these fights or a lot of these skirmishes that they could break out. But right now, Twisted Minds is just doing a really good job at reading that and then adjusting on the fly.
Yeah, they're not even, again, this isn't them going for the Twisted meta. This is just playing it how everyone else plays it, and they are dancing toe-to-toe with ONIC Philippines, who we thought would continue their ride of momentum and coast through maybe Twisted Minds in this game #1, but James has been the ultimate fighter for Twisted. He's been doing so much. Every dark wave that he uses punishes Kirk, punishes Prince and Brusco.
Homie is like Ip Man going 1v10.
Yeah.
At that point, that's why Phobius is always, whenever he pops up in the draft, you know exactly what kind of game plan they're playing around. You throw in a Hylos with it with a Revitalize, and you can actually extend those fights quite a bit. Now, some of these later items that are being picked up now, ONIC Philippines, will actually solve some of the issue with that Phobius and that Hylos combo.
It should. It has to. Because the beefy front line of Twisted Minds is one of the reasons why King Kong and Keller are delaying their entry and response, and why Kirk is getting punished quickly. Arrow will not land. Keller gets blasted by a few hits. This might be shaky for ONIC.
Okay, I'm not sure if they're going to commit to it yet. They do force Twisted Minds off a little bit, but again, playing around the arrows, there's the pathway.
Pathway set in. Escalera putting up the wall. AOG coming through. Kirk with the steal. The Kirk attack finds the blueprints and secures a big one for the Super Fam. Now Kelra going 1v1 against James.
Oh, wow.
Rescue. James gonna knock him out. Down goes the gold standard. Securing a kill. MP the King, another one. 4 outplayed. Bruce go down. This Lord might be in vain.
ONIC Philippines with that. Oh, James found Prince!
James looking for the monster mage. King comes to the rescue, electrifying beats. Can only walk away.
Wow.
Down he goes, outplayed. Gets the kill.
Oh, Twisted might be able to end it here.
Flourish pathway into the base, and that's all she wrote. Twisted Minds takes game 1.
In a quick, decisive fight for the Lord, even though it goes in the hands